Okay, 4.2 is all about finding the sum, the difference, and the product of polynomials. Okay, so we're going to first find the sum, then the difference, and then the product. Okay, the sum. What does the word sum mean in math? In math, the word sum means addition. So we're just going to be adding some polynomials together. In order to add polynomials, we have to combine like terms. That's really all we're doing. So, this first one, x plus 3x. Do we have like terms? Yes, you do. X and 3x are both like terms. We could even say that this is like saying 1x plus 3x, right? And what is 1x plus 3x? How many x's? Well, there's 4. 4x. Okay, 1x plus 3x is 4x. Okay, let's combine like terms down here. Okay, we have 2x plus 5x plus 3x squared. Okay, what are our like terms? Maybe circle. Well, we have a 2x and a 5x. And that 3x squared, that's different. We can't combine that because it has the square next to it. Okay, so we can only combine 2x and 5x, and that gets us how many? 7x. What's left? 3x squared. Now, if I were to tell you to write this in standard form, what do we have to do? We'd have to rewrite this, right? We'd have to take the 3x squared and put that first, plus the 7x. That would be our final answer. And that is standard form. We learned about that in 4.1. All right, how about this one? Again, maybe circle your like terms. We have 12x to the third, or 12x cubed, plus 5x plus 13x squared plus 4x. All our like terms are the only things with just x. 5x and 4x. So, write this in standard form. We can do that right away. We can say the 12x third to the third, that just drops down. 13x squared, that comes next. And then 5x plus 4x, that gets us 9x. Okay, so it's really just combining like terms. That's all it is. I think this is our final example here. Big problem. Okay, we're taking what's over here in parentheses and adding what's over here. PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, order of operations. However you want to remember it. What is the P in PEMDAS? It's parentheses, right? Well, let's start with parentheses. Can we do anything in that parenthesis? Can we combine any like terms? No. No, we cannot. Okay. Well, if we can't combine anything, let's just drop the parentheses. Let's get rid of them. Let's just say 9x to the fourth minus 3x to the third plus 4x squared plus 5x plus 7. Okay, how about in this parentheses? Can I do anything? No, we don't have any like terms. So that plus is just going to drop down right there. 11x to the fourth, I'm just going to rewrite what was in parentheses. Okay? Now, here's my new equation, or trying to find the sum, whatever you want to say. Okay? Let's combine like terms. Well, I'm going to circle all my like terms. 9x to the fourth. Is there anything else to the fourth? Yeah, right here, 11x to the fourth, right? Okay, that's good. I'll use green here to do any other like terms. There's nothing to the third power besides that minus 3x to the third, so I'm going to circle this 4x squared minus 4x squared. Okay? Then we have 5x and a minus 11x. And finally, we have this plus 7 and a minus 9. Okay, let's start with 9x to the fourth and 11x to the fourth. How many to the fourth is that? That's 20. Oh, no, 2. 20, sorry. (20x to the fourth). Nothing was combined with that minus 3x to the third, so that's going to stay there. This 4x squared minus 4x squared, that cancels out. So I'm just going to put a huge X in those. That cancels out. We have a positive 5x minus 11x. That gets me a negative 6x. And then we have a positive 7 minus 9. That gets me a negative 2. Okay, there's my final answer. All right, that's the sum. Let's now find the difference. Finding the difference is really the same thing, but we have to be careful for one instance, and I'll show you that here in a second. Okay, combine like terms. We have 7x to the third minus 4x to the third. How many x's to the third is that? That's just 3. Fine. Okay. Here's the instance I'm talking about. We have 3x minus, in parentheses, 5x squared plus 4x. Here's where we have to be careful. Why do we have to be careful? Because this minus is in front of the parentheses, and we have to distribute that minus to both things in the parentheses. Nothing changes with that 3x. That just falls down, 3x. But when I distribute that minus, that positive 5x squared becomes a minus 5x squared, and the positive 4x becomes a minus 4x. Okay, now it's just combining like terms. We have 3x minus 4x, which is a negative 1x, or just negative x. And what's left? Negative 5x squared. Okay, I also wrote it in standard form. Good. Down here, same thing. If we have a minus in front of the parentheses, we have to distribute that minus. This minus has to be distributed to both things in the parentheses. And nothing changed with these. We have 2x plus 12. Nothing changed. But then that minus 5x in the parentheses becomes positive 5x, and the minus 9 becomes a positive 9. Now it's combining like terms. We have 2x and 5x. That becomes 7x. Then we have a plus 12 and a minus 9, which becomes a positive 3. All right. One more to find the difference. Big one. Okay. Same type of thing here. Can you do anything inside the parentheses? Not in this first one. Nothing changes. So we still have 11x to the fourth minus 9x squared plus 3x plus 11. This minus sign we have to distribute to everything inside the parenthesis. Okay. In other words, flip the sign. Okay, so we have a positive 2x to the fourth in the parentheses. That's going to become a minus 2x to the fourth. We have a positive 6x to the third. It's going to become a minus 6x to the third. Positive 2x, it becomes a minus 2x, and a negative 9 becomes a positive 9. Now, combine like terms. 11x to the fourth minus 2x to the fourth. What is that? That is 9x to the fourth. Minus 9 to the second power. Nothing changes, right? Okay. How about a positive 3x? Minus 2x. What does that become? That becomes a positive x. And then we have 11, and a positive 9 becomes a 20. But we still have one thing, that is this negative 6x to the third. That's just going to fall down. Okay? Cannot forget about that minus 6x to the third. Now, write it in standard form. Okay, where the highest power goes first. 9x to the fourth. We have a minus 6x to the third. We have a minus 9x squared plus 1x plus 20. And that is standard form. Next, we have to find the product. Find the product. Okay, that is multiplying. Product means multiply in mathematics. And in math, we can multiply almost everything together. So we don't have to have like terms when we're multiplying. And only when we're multiplying or dividing. Okay, we don't really need like terms. So 3x times 7x squared. We can actually multiply these together. What's 3 times 7? Here's how we multiply. What's 3 times 7? 21. Okay, what's attached? We have x, but how many x's? That is the trick when multiplying these together. Okay, we could say this is 3x to the first power, right? 3x to the first power. We're going to add the exponents when we multiply, which is a little confusing, okay? But stick with me. 3 times 7 is 21. They both have x's, so it's x to the... What's 1 plus 2? 3. 21x to the third. Let's try this one. It's a little more complicated, but that's okay. We have 2x squared times, in parentheses, 3x to the fifth plus 5x to the fourth. What do we have to do? We have to distribute. We have to use a distributive property. So, let's start with 2x squared times 3x to the fifth. What's 2 times 3? Well, that's just 6. Okay. Then we're just going to add the exponents. X squared, x to the fifth. What's 5 plus 2? It's 7. Now, let's do 2x squared plus 5x to the fourth. What's 2 times 5? That is 10. And then we have a 2 and a 4, which is 2 plus 4, 6. Okay. Or I should probably write, oh, that is the standard form. That's good. Perfect. Okay, so we just add the exponents. Let's try this one. We have a negative. That shouldn't bother us too much, right? We have to distribute. Negative 2x squared minus, or times negative x. Well, we could say this is like negative 1x to the first power, right? What's negative 2 times negative 1? It's positive 2. And then we have x squared and x to the first. It's x to the third. Oh, we're not done. Okay? That's 2x to the third. And then we have negative 2x squared times a negative 10. Well, what's negative 2 times negative 10? It's a positive 20. And then there's no x's attached to the 10, so we're just going to keep that x squared. Okay, because that x squared there does not leave. Three more examples and we're done with this video. 3 more. Okay, we have 2 polynomials here. We have to multiply them. We have to distribute, or what we like to say is FOIL. First, outside, inside, last. Okay. First, the first 2 things inside the parentheses. O is outside, the 2 most outer parts, the x and the negative 3. The inside, the 2 closest to an x, and then the last two, 2 and negative 3. We're going to multiply all those together. So let's start with this first one. First, x times x is what? It's x squared. Okay, outside, x times negative 3 is negative 3x. Inside...
Good morning, everyone.
Okay, sorry about that interruption. So we got the first, got the inside, or outside, now we have to go inside. 2 times x is a positive 2x. And then the last two things, 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Okay, then we combine like terms. We have x squared minus 3x plus 2x, that's minus x, and then minus 6. Okay, that's how we multiply polynomials together. Now, look at this thing. 3 things in each of these. Wow, if we can get this, we're on the money. Alright? Same kind of concept. Up here, notice, just focus right here on this x. We distributed that x to both things inside this parenthesis. And then with the 2, we distributed that to both things in the parentheses. So everything was multiplied by everything. That's what we're doing down here. Okay, start with the 4x squared. That's going to be multiplied to all 3 of these. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that right now. What's 4x squared times x to the 4th? Well, what's 4 times 1? It's just 4. Okay, and then we have 4x squared and x to the 4th, so we have to add those exponents, so it'll be x to the 6th. Okay, now, how about this middle one? 4x squared times 3x squared. Well, what's 4 times 3? It's 12, and then x squared, so it's x to the 4th. Okay, and then this last thing. 4x squared times 4x. Well, that's 4 times 4, which is 16. Count the x's. We have x squared and x to the 1st right here. So it's x to the 3rd. Okay, that's 1 time. Now we're done. Now we got to go the 8 to all 3. And let's start with this first one. Negative 8x times x to the 4th. Well, negative 8 times, we can say there's a 1 there. Negative 8 times 1 is negative 8. Now count our exponents. X to the 5th. Okay, now the middle one. Well, what's negative 8 times positive 3? That's a negative 24. Count the exponents. X to the 1st, x squared, so that's x to the 3rd. Okay, and last, negative 8 times positive 4 is negative 32. And then we have 1x for both of those, so it's x squared. Now, we have the last one. I'm going to write this kind of down below here because we're running out of room. We have negative 2 times x to the 4th. Well, that is negative 2 x to the 4th. And then we have negative 2 times positive 3x squared. That's negative 6x squared. And then lastly, but not least, negative 2 times positive 4x. That's a negative 8x. We multiplied. Now we have to combine like terms. Kind of adding this all together now. And just look for the exponents. Okay, let's start with the x to the 4x to the 6th. Anything go with that? Nope. So let's write that down here. I'll write my final answer in red. 4x to the 6th. Okay. How about, let's go to the 5th. Negative 8x to the 5th. Is there anything else with the 5th attached to it? Nope. So that's just going to fall. And now let's go to the 4th. 12x to the 4th. Anything combined with that? Yep, right here. Okay, 12x to the fourth minus 2x to the fourth. That gives me 10x to the fourth. That is a terrible x. I apologize. Let me erase that. And let's go to the third. 16x to the third minus 24x to the third. That'll give me a negative 8x to the third. Let's go squared. Negative 32x squared. And negative 6x squared. That's negative 38x squared. And then finally all we have is this minus 8x. That's it. So, big long answer. But that is how we do it. One more example. Way down here. One more. Okay. This time we have 3 parentheses. You can do this a few different ways. I'll just explain to you how I do it. Okay. You can start with any 2 parentheses. Any 2. We just multiply those together. So I'm just going to take these 2. And I'm going to multiply those together. How? By our FOIL method. You know, first, outside, inside, last. I can do that. Let's do that kind of quickly here. The first one's 5x times 2x. Okay, we should be getting better at this. 5x plus 2x is 10x squared. Outside, 5x times 1 is positive 5x. Inside, negative 4 times 2x is negative 8x. And then last, we have negative 4 times positive 1, it's negative 4. Okay, now simplify, we have 10x squared plus 5x, oh, sorry, 5x. 5x and minus 8x is negative 3x, and then minus 4. Okay, so we have those 2 simplified, but now we have to bring down this parenthesis. Okay, so now we have this times that. 2 parentheses. And again, it's distributing each thing. So 10x squared times 3x, well, that's a 30x to the third. 10x squared times 2x is a 20x squared. Now let's try the negative 3x. Negative 3x times positive 3x, that gets me a negative 9x squared. Negative 3x times a positive 2 is a negative 6x. And then we have the last one here. Negative 4 times 3x, that's a negative 12x. And then negative 4 times positive 2 is negative 8. Finally, combine like terms down here. Combine like terms. Well, what do we have for like terms? We have those 2. And we have those 2. Combine those. Okay. 30x to the third, that stays the same. 20x squared minus 9x squared, that's 11x squared. Negative 6x minus 12x, that's negative 18x, and then minus 8. There's our final answer. And you guys should be pros at all 3. Difference, sum, and product.